Good eye mates, this is Bry here. Welcome back to some more automation. That is as far as I'll go with my Australian attempt at an accent. We are making a 1970s very Australian vehicle today. We are making our very own ute, or basically like a car with a pickup truck bed, or a coupe utility for people who are very technical out there. We're making a pickup truck, car, big V8, Australian Aussie kind of style. This is going to be a body on frame, big old American, I mean, America is like Australia, except Australia just has more awesome vehicles, to be honest. Steel chassis, front-mounted longitudinal. This is going to be a rear-wheel drive boy. We're going to have, I think, double wishbone front. Like, I don't want to have solid axles front and rear. Then solid axle leafs in the rear. Something cheap, something plain. This is not a very fancy car. We're making a very Australian car. This is going to be a 90-degree V8. Cast iron pushrod, of course. What else would it be? What else would it be? There's nothing else it could be. Come on, hold on and load. There we go. A big old honking V8. We don't have too much space here. This is going to be a large V8. We're already at. I mean, we can go over 100% here. Like literally, all the engine development here is going to. I want it to have like an 8.1 liter V8. I think is what we're looking for. 500 cubic inches. So just under 8.2 liters. So pretty much a 500 cubic inch V8, which is a massive V8, bigger than pretty much any of the coupe utility kind of utes or whatever back in the day. So this is going to be not flat plane crank. This is all cast iron. This is going to be a low revving boy. We're going to do a carburetor for 8 carbs. Do we need 8 carbs? I think we're going to have just a 4-bell carb setup, performance intake, and it runs on regular gas. I don't like to use leaded unless I have to. Regular gas. Long tube headers. This is the high performance model. We're going to have just one straight through muffler. This is the performance model. It does not rev at all. It revs to 4,000, which seems a little bit low. I might actually have to change it to like some sort of forged internals, even though it's a little less realistic. But we'll do that nonetheless. So we'll increase this just a bit. All the money and development of this car is going towards the internals because they cannot handle anything. So far, oh wow, this thing is not looking like it's going to want to run at all. So 101 horsepower. We got some valve float. We can fix that just by increasing our cam profile here. 95 horsepower. It doesn't run well at all. Obviously, it's not a very well running boy. We could do more carbs here. Carburetor 4-bell carb, all 1969 tech. Big exhaust is going to help us with that as well. What am I forgetting here? What doesn't make power at all? 5,000 RPM, like we can increase. No, we don't want to increase the RPM. Sorry, 5,000 RPM doesn't make any power really. It's kind of weird. Making some power. Probably because the fuel, I'm assuming, is just drowning everything out. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Let's keep lowering this down here. 200 horsepower. I want to get in the 300s of horsepower. 280. Is it going up or down here? We're going to go to a 12.3 fuel mixture. Lower the ignition time down. So we're 300 horsepower, 350 torque. It's definitely a bit on the low end. I'm not gonna lie, we are running a really high compression ratio though. Let's slow that down to 8.5 to 1, which is pretty much in times with cars of that era. And just take away some fuel because we're gonna get better performance results. There we go. 330 horse isn't terrible. We can actually increase the ignition timing just a bit more, and probably the exhaust too. No, the exhaust is actually fine where it is. We don't have much in way of restrictions, so that probably makes sense. And we'll go increase the timing until we run out of octane, I think. We'll go 40 timing, then we'll increase the compression ratio. 8.9 to 1 is pretty realistic, maybe a little bit on the high end. 365 horse, 430 torque. It's in line with fairly realistic vehicles of the time. We have 8 carburetors. We have an 8 valve carburetor. We have 2 4-barrel carburetors. So we have 8 valves of carburetors. We can do a 6-pack as well. That's 425. This is 430. This is a bit better. We can go DCOE, which is just pretty much like a race carb system. We don't want that though. We can go race intake though. We could go race intake. Does it sound too crazy though? Because like a race intake is. Went for race cars. You know, this could be like the ultra high performance one, except it doesn't have race headers because it's a little unrealistic there. Cost for this thing, I think it's going to be around $60,000, and this is 2012 dollars, so it'll be a bit different, of course. Let's check how much that would cost. Let's go to, I always use this one website called Dollar Times because it's just like the one used for reference for everything. So if you go to $2012 to 1969, so if we do $60,000, it is a $9,000 vehicle. It's a little expensive. I think we're gonna do $40,000, which is a $6,000 vehicle. That's probably, it's a little high for cars, but that's still doable. This is the top of the line Ute, of course. You know, everyone is gonna be driving these things around, eating some, you know, kangaroo meat. I'm not too sure what they eat in Australia. Don't ask me. So we're gonna do, of course, the Ute body. This body looks awesome as well. This fastback body, I like it a lot. It's not good for this long a body, but it looks good. We're doing a very, very, very big, pretty much a full-size Ute. Actually, it might be a little bit too big though. It might be just a bit too big. I was actually contemplating that body, or if we go back to here, once it loads, this is 111 long inch wheelbase, which is pretty much El Camino Ford Ranchero kind of length, but I was also contemplating a 98-inch wheelbase, which is a bit smaller, and it does fit apparently. We're going to go manual. 4-speed, 5 speeds weren't really that common. The engine still fits in here, but it's a lot of engineering time. Locking diff, sure, why not? Sports tires. 295s are massive for the time, but we're going to have them because that's just badass. Well, why the fender flares? This is the high-performance model, that's why. This is the high-performance model. Oh, you can actually have, like, this. Oh, I kind of like that. Can we have that for both or no? You can. I like that. That looks pretty cool. Definitely a wide boy car. I think 295s is probably as big as we're going to get, because any bigger than that, it's a little crazy. 14 or 15 inch? 15 inch is big for the time. Let's go 295s and 245s. I mean, stagger tires weren't all that popular, but I think this car deserves stagger tires. This is an expensive car for the time. 14-inch wheels, big, meaty tires, steel wheels for sure, solid discs all the way around. This thing needs it, and then a semi-clad tray for slightly better fuel economy. A bench seat, because, you know, what's greater than a bench seat in the car? Who doesn't like bench seats? I love bench seats. Oh, this thing's gonna look sporty, boy. Very sporty looking car. Not really, it's literally a pickup truck, but it's a car. We're doing interior here. I think just sport, standard. Definitely needs power steering, the best safety possible, and just good old suspension. We'll tune it for sport and leave it at that. And we can't even lower this thing anymore. Okay. So far, 3,300 pounds. It's definitely on the light end of things. 0-65.8 by default here. We can reach a very high top speed. We're getting a lot of wheel spin, I'm guessing. Yeah. If we gear to 300 kilometers an hour, and we change the gearing to a little bit shorter here, like 5.80 to 60 is pretty fast. First gear takes us all the way to 73 kilometers an hour, which is pretty fast. Let's change it a little bit shorter here. First gear takes us to 70, we can do 100 even probably. 66 kilometers an hour. Let's lower the top. Let's lower that. First gear takes us to 56. Not enough yet. 50. You know, let's do 60. That sounds fine. 60 kilometers an hour to first gear. It's a very long first gear still. Short spacing in the gears. Second gear takes us to 104. Top speed of 285. So we're gonna hit our top speed at 260 kilometers an hour, which is a fair bit of speed. Let's see how much that is. 260 kilometers an hour. 160 miles an hour. That's very fast. To put this in perspective, guys, my 1974 Maverick, which is one of the cars I own, that thing has a top speed, theoretical top speed of 99 miles an hour, but that's only got 120 horsepower in gross, not net horsepower. Let's actually move the box higher, so it's covering everything, I think. Oh, we can make these even bigger too. That's kind of cool. I don't know why you would want that, except if you have drag tires, but we'll make it like that size. Kind of cool. You can change that though. We can make this curved or not curved. Okay, no, it just stays how it is, and we'll pull that out just a bit. Okay. So I think the gist of the car is pretty much done. 5.5 seconds 0 to 60 is very, very quick for 1969. I mean, it's not as quick as some cars, but it's still very quick. This thing, the price right now is sitting at 31,000, so it's on the cheap side. I'm gonna try to get to 40,000, I think. But under 40,000 is good, I think. So it's not bad overall. 6 miles per gallon, which is definitely good. Actually barely helps. It's not even 1 mpg difference. We'll take it off. We'll save the weight there. A very light car. This thing is very light. This is the high performance model, guys. Remember that. This is no, you know, drive your family to church kind of ute. Is that what they do with utes? I'm not too sure. This is a performance ute, or a coupe utility, or you know, El Camino basically. So what we're gonna do now, of course, is design this glorious vehicle, and then I will take it into BeamNG.Drive, and we're gonna see if this thing can do mad burnouts. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so we are starting the design for our Australian pickup ute thingamabobber from the 1960s, 70s. So first off, of course, like always, I start off with the front end of the car. I'm trying to go for a similar style to an El Camino, 1970 or so El Camino, but I do want to have my own distinct flair. So I start off with two headlights with some squares around it, and slowly work from there, seeing how I can make that work, adding some grill, some two-piece, you know, separate sides grill in the middle. Adding a big old bumper in the front there, getting some more inspiration while I'm pausing the game for a second. Changing the grills to squared off grills with some lines in the middle, add a bit more texture, and then some hood scoop. This is now turning a bit more similar to my other muscle car for me and Canadian Steel's muscle car challenge a while back. Adding a front splitter, turn signals, and then some more vents in the hood. Figuring out what kind of mirrors I want, I finish on some square-ish 1960s, 70s style mirrors. Looking at a stripe possibly around the back similar to a Dodge. But I end up not doing that, and then instead I look to add some sort of thing covering the box of the truck, which I can do hopefully pretty decently. It looks decent. I changed the color to a red now, changing the wheels, changing the front end, adding some more design, more details, and then adding starting on the back area. So I do have like a tonneau cover over the back, which just for the high performance model, I think it's gonna look pretty good, making sure it fits properly and stuff. Adding some tail lights. So we have a 4 taillight set up right now. I actually do change it to 3 and then add a small reverse light underneath a small square reverse light. Starting off with a big square piece of flat, almost plasticky color at the back. Adding some trim to the side along, flowing with the door handle, and then I add some black trim just under that. Finishing up on the name, this is the Toro GTM. I'm not sure on the brand. This is some Australian knockoff brand of Maven probably, and my other, you know, muscly American brand. Toro is the name again. Big bold letters at the back of the vehicle, making sure they're centered. Adding on some more lips on the sides of the car. Yeah, lips on the side of the car. Adding a GTM trim badge on the side there, the Toro GTM. Changing the detail to the back just a bit more. And finally, in front of us is the unbranded Toro GTM Ute. Alright guys, so we have it in front of us, the completed Australian style ute coupe utility kind of thing from the 1960s and 70s. Let's just go over a few things before we jump into BeamNG.Drive. I didn't really change the engine much. I thought the engine was pretty good as is, 380 horsepower and 450 or so pound-feet of torque. 8.2 liter or so, about 500 cubic inches of displacement. I think it's just under 500 cubic inches, but we're going to round up anyways because that's what the Americans do. So, you know, everything's bigger in America, everything's bigger in Australia, probably, sure. So we'll start off on the actual design of the car. At the front of the car here, this is similar to an El Camino-ish, a little bit of Ranchero, Ford Ranchero, for those of you who don't know what Ford's Ute is called. And then it has a bit of my other Maven muscle cars. I have 2 other muscle cars I did. I have a bit of that in there as well. Basically, we have a triple headlight set up here. One's, I'm guessing 2 are low beams, 1 high beam. Sure, why not? Turn signal down here, a very big, long, squared-off turn signal. Squared-off grills with some piping around it. I'm actually not sure if I want piping. Also, just let me have this, please, like right here as well. Like that. But, I think that looks better. I think that looks better. We'll leave it like that. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. I think that looks a bit better. So we have some detail in the grille here. We have a little bit of a vent down there, and we have a 2-level kind of splitter down there. It doesn't really go on the side, but that's okay. This is, I won't say a budget car, but this is Australian-designed American vehicle, basically. So it's a Ute. It probably could have been a fastback sports car at some point, but this is the Ute version. Headlight design, very similar to the back. Triple taillight design. They're all, I think, 2 down here are turn signals, and then we have a reverse light, 2, 1 on the other side right there. Big old Toro badging. We have this tonneau cover that I made out of a spoiler, which, spoiler alert, looks pretty damn cool. 1 vent behind the scoops in the hood here, and we have a little bit of a bulge right there, so the hood is pretty finely detailed. The roof, I was thinking either like, not really power bulges, but just bulges on the roof for the heads and helmets and stuff. But this is not a race car. This is just more like a drag beast, a muscle car from the 1970s. We have black piping around the fender flares, basically. We have a black and chrome trim strip going along the entire length of the car. I'm actually contemplating having black on both sides of the chrome, making it a little bit thinner, having it just chrome, black, chrome, but this is fine. The wheels are pretty muscle car-ish inspired wheels. We have some more skirt on the side and then a skirt on the back as well. Two massive exhaust tips just coming straight out there. And yeah, the car is, you know, I like it a lot. I like the front end. The front end's fine, nicely detailed. I like the color. This is some color that I made a while back. Cherry red. Oh, that sounds very fancy. I don't know why it looks different than everything else, but yeah, it's all the same. I was constantly doing like blue or orange or yellow or something, but red is what it is. 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, top speed of 240 kilometers an hour, so 140 or so miles an hour, or maybe a little less than that, but 100 something miles an hour. So not crazy top speed, but that's due to having a fair bit of drag from the wings and stuff, downforce. It fits into the muscle premium category, which is exactly what I was looking for. Too bad there is no ute category, right? There's no ute. I mean, there's utility premium, which sort of what this is. Muscle premium, there should be like a ute, which is like, you know, like a, yeah, it's its own thing. But muscle premium is pretty much the category. We're falling under $40,000, so we're right on budget. 6 miles per gallon, which is probably a bit low. I think something like this could, like a real life car with an 8.2 liter V8, probably around 6 miles per gallon, honestly. And for this kind of car, your foot's on the throttle all the time. Service cost is quite high, but we're going to ignore that. And it's got a lot of cargo volume though. So overall, definitely a lot of fun to make this car. So we're going to jump into a BeamNG.Drive. I want to see if this thing can do burnouts. I want to see if this thing is fast in the quarter mile. And we're also going to see if this thing is half decent on a track. Here in BeamNG.Drive, the first thing we're doing, of course, is we're going to do a quarter mile drag strip. We're going to see if this thing can do some good drag times. It actually transferred over super well on Beam. I think it looks awesome. I think the front end, I'm very happy with the front end. Like I always am, of course, with my cars. I always like the front end. The side, a bit more detail needed, I think, in the rear. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's all it said. It's fine. Okay. Let's not lock the diffs. Let's put them first. And dislodge from max RPM. Pops and crackles, of course, sound like a nice, good V8. And 150 kilometers an hour, 160. A 12.7 quarter mile. That's a good quarter. I would take that as a great quarter mile time. That's fast. That's pretty fast. That's similar to a new Mustang GT. I think the new Mustang GT is like 12.5 or even 13. This is pretty good. We're gonna do one more time. We'll see what we can do. I'm gonna lock the dips this time. And we'll see if we can get a slightly better time. Oh, that was a nice pop there. Almost a long gearing in third to fourth. It gets almost too long. 12.6, a slightly better time. I like that. I'll take that. A good time. 12.6 seconds in the quarter mile, which is similar to none of my cars on this list here, because all these cars are sub 9 seconds. 7.5 is my best with just a dragster. So I think now we are going to jump into the automation test track and see if this thing can put down some reasonable numbers. So we are on the automation test track. I haven't done any practicing. We're just going to launch it right here and see if we can put down a reasonable number. Oh, wow, she gets a little swirly there. And turn in, we'll go down the second tier. Almost spun out, we're fine. Nice and slow on this curve here. I don't want to spin out. It has pretty good grip though, honestly, it's not terrible grip. For a 1970s car, it's not terrible. Nice and slow around this turn here. I'm gonna break a little bit early because I'm not sure what we're doing. Oh. A little bit too much there. I just dropped down the gears. I was gonna see if I could spin around it, but that was not gonna happen. And I put it down to first because whatever. We're fine. A pretty bad first section run, but it's not terrible. This car is not... Ooh, gets a little swirly. It's not the best driver's car, I'll say that. The body roll feels almost non-existent. Doesn't feel like there's a ton of body roll for what it is. I haven't noticed any yet. It looks pretty cool in the tonneau cover. The tonneau cover looks awesome. I'll give it that. We're at 200 kilometers an hour in the straightaway. We could probably hold up and brake just a bit here. Okay, we're fine. We'll drop down to third. Pick up some more speed. I'm not going to set a record time, obviously. This car is not a record-setting car at all. Ooh. And a third here, and then we'll turn in a little bit late there. It's getting a little squirrely. On the throttle. Just gonna hold it in third. A little bit of an early second drop. Oh, I didn't even drop the second. I thought I went the second. Wow, weird. We're fine. Nice and easy on this turn here. 145 kilometers an hour. That's not bad at all. A little bit of a granny shift. We're at over 2 minutes already. Again, I'm not the best driver, and I know that. Yeah, second gear is I think the gearing is it needs a little bit of fine tuning there. I could probably squeeze it another, if I was, you know, pedal to the metal, I could probably squeeze another 15 seconds, perfect driving and stuff. Not terrible, 2:35. I mean, it's not a great time, obviously, it's a pretty bad time, but if we are looking compared to some other vehicles, what do I have here? Serpent GT, which is a modern sport sedan, pretty close to that. BMW 30M, which is a, I'm not even sure what that is. What else do we have? Mammoth Super Sport, no. GT 770, well, pretty fast cars. Then again, I'm not known for selling my best times. There's a bunch of cars. What do we have here? What's similar? GT47, which is a supercar, I think. Vectra Type SP. Yeah, actually, I'll take a reasonable time. Let's just go to free roam here. Restart. Just go for a cruise. Nice little cruise. We're going to go just around this way. Overall, it's not a bad car. It handles surprisingly pretty well. It's pretty composed. Not at all what you think for a muscle car. Oh, yeah, we're going this way. Brakes a little bit. I didn't tune the brakes too much. I honestly didn't even look at the brakes. It's one thing I didn't look at. I missed them completely for tuning. That's okay. I'm gonna assume they're great. I'm just gonna assume they're fine. I don't think they are though. I think they're not fine. Clearly, they're just looks really easy. We'll back this way on the track here. And the brakes lock up a bit too much. I could have done more tuning to the brakes for sure. I didn't tune them after I just put them on there in a slight tune, but oh, we just lost something there. I think we are max size brakes though, so braking seems to be a little bit of a problem for this car. This is yeah, locks up a little bit too much there. Oh, if we dropped to the second there, we could have 99 drift there. I almost held it. Not a bad car. We're gonna restart here. Overall, a pretty fun car. A very fun car to make. I think it looks awesome. Nice period correct muscle car ute thing. Can I do a burnout? It can do a pretty bad burnout, so I'll take it as a yes. A burnout from seconds? No, no. Almost. It is overheating. Perfect. The tonneau cover. Actually, let's rip the tonneau cover off right here. No, I just want the tonneau cover off, please. There we go. Overall, a very, very fun car to drive. For what it is, it's a very fun car to drive. Fun car to make. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be putting all my cars from the future in my Discord channel. So you guys can go join my Discord, and if you want to download my cars, check them out, or just chat with anyone, everyone, or with me, join the Discord, linked in the description, and probably top commented, probably somewhere else, I don't even know. Join the Discord, and you know, we're gonna have weekly or so little community challenges on there, and I will be doing a live stream. This is gonna come on Saturday, probably today. I might do a live stream today, or the day after. So I'm gonna do some more live streams almost every week with community challenges, as well as some other stuff, and I want to do a live stream build with you guys next week, so stay tuned with that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.